All right, so we're going to take notes on writing literal equations, and what this means is we're going to be rewriting formulas. Rewriting formulas. I forgot my tripod, so you'll have to apologize for a little bit of a shaky video. So we're going to start off with solving an equation we're pretty familiar with. 3y plus 4 equals 9. I say we're familiar with that because it's just one variable, and we can solve by getting y all by itself. So let's go ahead and do that to review. I'll subtract 4 from both sides. I get 3y, 4's cancel, equals 9 minus 4, and that gives me 5. Then to get y by itself, I divide both sides by 3, and then I get a final answer of y, because the 3's cancel, equals 5/3. So I was able to get y all by itself, and I get an answer that looks like just a number. But if I do the same thing over here, let's say I change it to 3y plus 4x equals 9. My answer is going to look different, and it's going to have an x in it when I solve for y. The goal here is still to get y by itself. So what I'm going to do, since I want to get y by itself, I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. When I do that, I can cancel out the 4x's on the left-hand side, bring down to 3y just like over here. And then what I'm left with is 9 minus 4x. From there, I still want to get y by itself, so I will divide by 3. And when I divide by 3, I have to divide everything by 3. My 3's cancel. Here I'm left with just y equals. Since I have to divide everything by 3, I'm going to break this up as 9 divided by 3. And negative 4x divided by 3. And I'm going to rewrite that one more time. Sorry, I think I got it centered again. As y equals 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 4 divided by 3 is just 4/3. So I'm going to write this as 4/3 x. And you probably recognize where that has come from. But you can see where we got two different results, because here on the right-hand side, x was still there. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to solve literal equations, or rewrite literal equations. So you might recognize area equals length times width for a parallelogram. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So if I want to solve for L, I have A equals LW, and I want to get L all by itself. Well, this is L times W, so I'll divide both sides by W. So then on the next step, I'm left with A over W equals L, and L is all by itself. That's what I wanted to do all along, is solve for L. This is my answer, the whole thing. All I have to do is get the variable by itself. Let's go with some chemistry formulas here. I have I equals PRT, solve for T. So I'm going to get the T all by itself. Well, this is the cool thing about this one. Because everything's getting multiplied, I can divide out the PR all at once and save myself some steps, because the r's cancel and the p's cancel because it's all multiplication. They're factors. So what am I left with? I over PR equals T. Pretty awesome. That's my answer. Next, I've got P equals 2L plus 2W. Now, you might have some different first steps on this one. If you have a different one than me, I like it. Go ahead and try it. But I'm going to show you one way to do this one. Because I want to solve for W, I'm going to get the W expression all by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2L from both sides. So that leaves me with, I'm going to write this over here, P minus 2L. These are not like terms, so I cannot combine them, equals 2W. I still want to get the W by itself, so I divide both sides by 2. And when I divide both sides by 2, I divide everything by 2. So we'll continue over here. This is P minus 2L over 2 equals W. I can also write an equivalent equation, because everything on this side is divided by 2. So I could rewrite it as P divided by 2 minus, well, 2 divided by 2 is 1. The 2's would technically cancel out, and I just have L equals W. Both of these are acceptable answers because they're equivalent. And number 5, I've got A equals 1/2 BH, solve for B. Let me rewrite that over here. A equals 1/2 BH. Well, since I'm multiplying by 1/2, I can multiply by the reciprocal to cancel it out. And then I have to multiply by that number as well on the left-hand side. So that gives me 2 times a equals bh. Since we're solving for b, I want to get b all by itself, so we'll divide by h on both sides. And we're left with 2a over h equals b. And there you go.